Connor, we'll start with a few squad updates, if that's all right. Clearly, Mark Roberts left with a knock at Plymouth. How's he, and what's his prognosis?
Yeah, Robbo's struggling for the near future, really. Kind of a bit of a disappointing one for him. In terms of time frame, hard to actually pinpoint exactly how long it will be, but he will kind of be out of action for kind of the next couple of months, really, off the back of the diagnosis since the game.
Was it a groin issue as we thought?
Yeah, something high up groin / hip area. So, yeah, like I said, unfortunate for Robbo. He had the news over the last couple of days. So, yeah, not something short, not something that will keep him out for 6 months, but definitely kind of the near future, next couple of months, he won't be in action.
Such a shame for you and him, isn't it, on the opening day of the season?
Yeah, gutted, obviously. Yeah, look, obviously, Rob was a big part of the group. I've even said to him over the last couple of days that, like, I want him around and I want him at the games and in and around the dressing room and stuff like that. And, it's because, sometimes a rehab can be a little bit lonely in the gym, and you can bring some valuable experience at time around the boys. So, I've asked him personally to be in and around the game days, and whether it's an away game and he wants to kind of come on the coach and be around the staff and whatever, it's I've asked him kind of to be around it for the next couple of months for sure.
You already wanted some more defensive cover. Are you any closer to bringing anything in, and does this make that even more important now?
Yeah, I do think it's important. There's no getting away from that. There's no point me sitting here and going, look, no, we're okay or whatever. There's no getting away from the fact that we need a little bit of cover and a body to come in that area, whether it's a centre half or a right back. Time will tell on that, because we know obviously Mal can play centre half. The Shep situation, obviously, look, we're only looking at one game, so that's not the worst scenario. But yeah, look, we are ongoing and we are looking into things. So fingers crossed from that point of view, really.
Are you hopeful you can get something done for this weekend, or could it take towards the end of the window?
Towards the end, for the weekend, touch and go, I would say. But hoping for some movement over the next couple of days on something. Will it be here for Saturday or not? Obviously, that would be tight, but let's see how we go.
Were there any other knocks of the weekend or issues for any other players?
No, all good. Apart from that, Ox, no problem whatsoever. The lads looked strong at the weekend. They've had a couple of days now to recover off the back of a long journey, but we've been in obviously over the last couple of days, fully preparing for the weekend, and we'll be ready to go.
Could Casper Lapasa come back into your thinking, bearing in mind the people that you got missing?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that would be one that we'll be looking at from a being involved point of view.
Is he one of the players that could well go out on loan this month?
Potentially. There's a couple of bodies that need to get out, need to go play, need to advance their careers. So look, in terms of Casper, or there's a couple in that boat in that same scenario. So yeah, look, we'll see how that develops over the next couple of weeks as well.
I want to get an update on Fabio Jallo and Georgie Gent, how they're progressing, and when we might see them back amongst the squad.
Yeah, still long term, if I'm being honest. Probably looking at a similar time frame now as your Robbo's. Nothing too imminent really in terms of the next couple of weeks. It's more the scenario of Robbo the next couple of months really.
Murphy Cooper, a few really big saves on his debut, a few eye-catching moments, good bit of bravery as well coming out of his box and decision-making. How impressed were you with what you saw on his first league game for the club?
Yeah, it didn't surprise me at all, to be honest. I think I've gone on record over the last couple of interviews leading into the first game of the season how impressed I've been with him. So him putting in a performance like that doesn't come from a surprise from my point of view. He's been absolutely fantastic over pre-season, on and off the pitch, in the dressing room as a personality, bubbly character. And from day one, he's come in and I've thought, you're a good keeper. So to put in that performance at Plymouth, yeah, I'm not surprised by it at all. Fully expected that standard of performance from him, and he gave me exactly what I expected.
He was quite a character as well. He was quite vocal on the pitch. He was getting out and about, getting into the defenders. Is that what you like to see with all of your players, not just your goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think I make a big point from goalkeepers. They have to bring volume. They have to bring communication. Some of the best goalkeepers I was fortunate enough to play with, they're so loud, so vocal, and I expect that from my goalkeeper. it's a dying breed a little bit, the real volume and the communication side of the game, and I expect that particularly from my goalkeeper to be, keep the defenders focused, set plays, keeping a high line, and just being really demanding and vocal. So yeah, he's got that trait, which is brilliant.
And obviously, Jackson Smith missed out of the weekend. Is he one of the players that you kind of thinking of for a loan, perhaps?
Yeah, potentially another one that needs someone that needs to go and play games. We're quite fortunate with our goalkeeping department now with Murph and with Flav and with Rogan and whatnot. Flav done okay for me last year. There's no getting away from that. That's someone that I want in and around the group and develop and help him along. Obviously signing the contract as well. So he's come up through the club, knows what the club's about. So I want him fully invested and fully kind of involved in the squad, which he is. So Jackson is someone that we may look at, to go and get some games.
Not getting away from that is one of the phrases we've heard a couple of times in this interview. I imagine you could put former Oakwell in that category, and the fact that you simply have to get more wins at home, don't you, if you're going to do anything in the league?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's. I think everyone recognises that. Look, I think if you want to have any success in the league or do anything in the league, you have to, win home and away. There's, that's nothing to kind of shy away from. But look, different squad, different way of thinking. You look at, David McGoldrick and who else? Caelan Vickers and all these guys. Like they've not experienced previous times, so it's a fresh mindset, fresh way, and it's nothing to kind of pinpoint too much. Yes, people might mention it, but for us, it's just another game. We do our homework, we do our work, and we go out on Saturday with the same intentions.
And they're all the supporters is going to be huge, isn't it? You saw a great response at Plymouth last weekend. The club has put some reduced price tickets on, so it looks like it's going to be a bumper crowd. They've got a real key part to play, haven't they, this season?
Absolutely, yeah. I firsthand know what the atmosphere and the volume can be like around Oakwell. I was fortunate enough to have been involved in a successful team who had Oakwell kind of buzzing and bouncing and a bit of a fortress. So I'm really, really keen to bring that back. It can be such a tough place for opposition players and teams to come, and we need to try and create that starting from the weekend. So, I ask the fans to bring the volume and bring the energy, and whether it goes well or it doesn't go well, still sing your hearts out and, bring that momentum and that pressure that I want, I know a home crowd can bring here, and really looking forward to the weekend off the back of that.
Yeah, there's a nice moment planned for Al Smith on the 71st minute. I know he's somebody that you met and spoke to a few times. It'll be a really touching moment, won't it, for somebody who's been a huge Barnsley fan?
Yeah, it will be. It would be an amazing moment. Really, really sad occasion, obviously, over the last couple of weeks with his passing. I was at the funeral last Monday. I texted his wife, Kate. We were all thinking of her. I know she travelled to Plymouth because I met her at the open training session last Wednesday. So yeah, look, very, very sad one in terms of Al not being with us anymore. But, hopefully we can give him a bit of a touching tribute for that and minute's applause at the weekend.
Well, there's some extra motivation if it wasn't needed, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Look, hopefully we'll go the way we wanted to. We need to put in a performance first and foremost, do our homework on the opposition, work hard on the training ground this week to give us the best chance come Saturday, and fingers crossed then obviously we put the performance in that will be fitting for the moment that we're on about.
Just some thoughts on Burton. Clearly a good start, good result against Mansfield to start. How do you feel like you match up against them, and what you're expecting from the game itself?
Yeah, I really like him. I think if Gary's got a team together that know how to get results in the league and at the level. Ever since he's got in, they've been on a really good run of form to get him out of relegation. Got a win at the weekend. So we know we have to be bang at it to get the result that we want. They've got some really good players, energetic players, and a threat up the top of the pitch. So, we're fully expecting a difficult game again, and we have to be, the mindset around this has to be, at 100%, so we can try and get the result that we want.
and plenty of former Reds involved as well, which always adds a little bit extra for a few with a point to prove as well.
Yeah, of course. Look, that comes with the territory of football. You always come up against ex-players or ex-scenarios or whatever, So yeah, look, that may come with it, but it doesn't change our approach for the game.
Brilliant. Thank you, Conor. Good.
All right, no props.
With what's happened to Rob O'Connor, would you say, looking at you're a couple short, 2 or 3 short, in an ideal world, getting them in before the end of the window?
Yeah, look, we want to strengthen the squad. We know we need some bodies in, whether it's in defence or just in general. The squad that we have at the minute, we're very fortunate with it. There's a lot of quality. My worry is if anything happened to a couple of the bodies, then we would be even shorter again. So I think we're just a couple away from having a really, really good group. Obviously, the Robbo situation is not ideal, and hopefully we can accelerate that over the next couple of days.
Keeping the ones you've got, I mean, that's as big as it looks to me. As it could be as big as anything, couldn't it? Because if you keep those top players you've got, they can trouble any team in this.
Yeah. Look, we've got some really good footballers. We've got some really good midfielders, top end of the pitch. We've got some really good players, and we'll score goals and play good football, no doubt. So, fingers crossed over the course of the next couple of weeks when the transfer window's coming to an end. We'll still have the players that I want at the football club still here. And time will tell on that. But look, we'll deal with that when it comes around. First and foremost, the full focus is on today's training, then Friday's training, and then into the game.
There's a bit of expectation for Saturday, which is good. You've had a great opening day win. There's obviously been positivity in pre-season. There's a bit on the show. There's a bit of people going to be coming along and giving you a chance. There's a bit of optimism in the air. It's a good test.
Yeah, no, brilliant. I think if we didn't get the result against Plymouth, they'd be saying there's a bit of people watching over our shoulders what it's going to be like. So it just comes with the territory of winning a game of football. So it's brilliant to have it the way that we have it after the win, and it's something to be really, really excited about and to really embrace that. And really looking forward to it. A really good crowd with a lot of volume, and hopefully we can put on the performance to match it.
Obviously, you want to show the best of your side and be really expansive, this, that, and the other. But seeing your side sort of dig in as well, maybe chisel out a win, that's going to be important, especially here because you didn't do enough of that last season.
Yeah, that was the big plus for me at the weekend. I thought we looked ultra fit. I thought we looked really, really strong, even though we were down to 10 men, which is really pleasing. The lads working for each other, working for me, working for the staff, working for the fans, the club, the togetherness. That was the big positive from the weekend. So we need to now do that again. The lads have had a good couple of days training. We will have a couple of more good days going into the game, and hopefully we'll look like another connected team with our homework done on the opposition, where we can go and put on a good performance.
You're clearly a big believer that a good pre-season sets you up for the season. Can you give me a bit of an insight in how you've obviously really pushed your players and how you've sort of changed things? Is it like double sessions and all?
Yeah, double sessions, early starts in the morning. I think Thursdays was a morning where we were in for 6 o'clock sometimes, 3 or 4 Thursdays in a row, doing different things. We were at the running track. We were doing a 5K up on the trail. We were down in the lakes another time. We were up in the Metrodome really, really early doing a swimming session. So yeah, it was just different ways about going about it. Made a big thing about the work rate and the fitness and pushing them, and the lads have just kind of been really embracive of that. We've tried to change things around the building, as I've said quite a few times, to give it a new energy and a new look, new coaching staff, and just bringing it together really. On top of the hard pre-season that we had, and the lads have been nothing but fantastic, and we continue that work now every day.
Have you thought of other things, taking them out of the comfort zone? Some take them to army camps, this, that, and the other. Have you sort of thought outside the box?
No, I think the only one really is probably the presentations on our trip away that we did. So we did presentations on our lives to get to know about the individual more. So I went first, all the staff went, all the players went, Rowett and Lewis, even Near went, everyone who was on the trip. We did a presentation on our lives, our upbringing, whether people had troubles in their lives, whether people had amazing upbringings, and just to get to know the individual a little bit more. People really opened up and was vulnerable. It was amazing. There were some powerful stories, and it was just to find out more about each other, really. And I thought it was a really, really good exercise. We then had a night out at the end of our trip as well, which was just off the back of the presentations, and it just seemed to come together really, really well, really.
Yeah, you've got one or two of your younger players got a taste of it at the end of last season. You know, your Barretts and your Blands. They're obviously part of it this season for you. You're expecting others to sort of come through and put their hand up. You obviously will be looking at their progress, won't you?
Yeah, I think Blandy Vimal, Kieran Flavel, Conor Barrett have kind of set the example now for the progress and the road that's there for people in the building. It's up to the young lads now in the building to catch my eye, to work hard every day, to train properly. I had a meeting with the 21s and the 18s at the start of pre-season and said, this is what I expect. If you come and train with us, these are the standards I expect. This is the intensity I expect to train with. Don't come up and just be a spare part. This is, come up and impress. Might be the only opportunity that you get to set the tone through the building. And they know, looking at the people that I've just mentioned, if you do it in the right way, there's an opportunity there. So the ball's in the young lads' courts now, between the 21s and 18s to grab that opportunity every day.
Yeah, I was going to ask you finally about your captain, Luke. There's obviously a bit of noise about his future, this, that, and the other, but by all accounts, he was outstanding on Saturday. It's probably everything that you'd have expected it anyway. I mean, he's a top player and a character, isn't he?
Yeah, I told him yesterday he put in a top performance, a captain's performance that I expected. I spoke to him before the game, a couple of days leading up, that you need to keep pushing the group and keep demanding from the group, and maybe when the training's going that little bit flat, that it's not always coming from me, it has to come from the captain as well to drive, the tempo and the intensity that I expect. And he took that on board, and I've got to say from day one in pre-season to Plymouth, I thought he's been first class. I really, really do. The energy and the intensity that he trains with all the time is credit to him, and he put in a very good performance in at the weekend. But again, I expect that again from him this weekend, and no doubt he'll give it to me as well.